Yes, my people, welcome to AFTV News Daily.
Look at that paper in your hands, my bro.
It's a mess.
For
I
fuck's
found it on the
sake.
floor. Do you know what it is, yeah? Robbie threw this a couple of days ago. And I was thinking, where's the paper gone? And man just launched it, but it's here. How are you with Turkish? What's going on? You
Yes, I'm good, man. I'm
good?
good.
Hey, awards night tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You excited?
Yeah, it is what it is. I want Big Six to do its thing, really. That's all I'm there for, Big Six tonight.
Oh, so you're not there for the you know?
No, because the majority of the past year it's been you, man. So you, man, can take that thing, and you know, if it comes next year, then alright, cool. I'll
I hear that.
I'll set pace. But with Big Six, you know, that's my baby. So I want that one to
No, I get that. And hopefully,
to do well.
Hopefully, it does do well. Hopefully, you get your award. And on top of that as well, I hope we do. Obviously, you just said there, we win all the time. I'm just new to this, my guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's your first event, so
it's more Robbie
you know,
if he wins.
If AFTV win anything, the flowers go to you and James tonight. So.
Nah. They go to Robbie always, man. Always. Which been brought on of recent. But
no way, he ain't watching right now. You can say it how it is, man. We run the shit, man.
It's kind of true. He's probably watching this thinking, you wait till I see you lot later, yeah? But you run things, yeah? Okay. How are you? Everything you said you're good, you're excited for tonight. We are early, so I don't want to say apologies for that, but we are early obviously because we are heading out straight after this, so apologies for this different time. But we've got a lot of news, there's a lot to get through today. We're going to talk about the international roundup and how well the Arsenal players have done being away, but we'll get to that towards the end of the show. Let's start with, there's so much to talk about today, a lot of Wenger news as well, but let's start with this. I've got this little image.
Every time I come here, there's Wenger stuff, or there's Oxlade-Chamberlain, or there's Aaron Ramsey. Yeah, it's just all old
They're the
news.
people you love though, innit?
I love Vieira, I love Henry, I love Adams, I love Bergkamp.
Saying that, Adams, obviously I watched 89 recently. Obviously I've watched the game, before everyone gets at me, I've watched the game, I've seen the game, but I haven't actually watched the film that they did, or the documentary, and Adams was heavily in it, and just, I know you speak about him so high and how much of a lead he was, but boy, what an actual lead.
Yeah,
like, what a guy.
That guy's
Even
leading up to the Michael Thomas goal at the end.
Yeah.
Adams, you could see him defensively.
Yeah,
there was a moment he lost that, and he's just trying to get back, and he loses that again. But like, it's just, you know, the need for that punt upfield and see what happens. Hope for the best.
The reason why I'm laughing is because he actually says in that documentary, goes, there was a moment before we scored where I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just running everywhere.
Yeah, because I ain't seen it yet, so I'm just going off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but I remember that bit.
That's what
I
he
remember
said.
that
He was running,
bit.
and it was like bumping into the goalie, and the goalie was like tapping him, and
He was
like,
going mad.
he just said like he didn't know. He just wanted to win, and I was like, oh, bro, he is that guy. And when you speak about him, and obviously, that's not my generation because I was born when he was playing, but I'm more the generation after him for the players wise, and I know how highly you speak of him and what a leader and what a captain we.
I still believe he's the only player. Is he the only player, or was the only captain that's won a Premier League title across 3 decades?
Oh wow!
Well, Premier League, I mean league title.
League title, yeah.
89, and then obviously.
Yeah, going for
88 and 02.
02. Wow. Oh wow, that's. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to wrap my brains if there's anyone else I know that's done that, but no, I can think of.
It's mad.
That's crazy. All right, let's get into the news. I'm going to start with Maitland Niles. I've actually credited him a lot recently from his performances when we coming off the bench, really making a kind of a name for himself in that midfield. I know he's been wanting to play there. There was word of it, but also I know he's spoken about wanting to play in defence. But he's done a recent interview. I think he did it with Frimpong on Arsenal. Now I'm going to talk about the coaching element of the side that he's brought up, that he wants to go into coaching and he's been doing his badges. We'll speak about it in a second, but I don't know if you saw the clip. Obviously they asked him about what your favourite kit is. Obviously Maitland, I'm a big fan of him, I like him, I'm happy he's at the club. But when he said which one's the blue one again, that I was thinking, boy, how do you not know what kit it is? But I don't know.
He must be further portraying the image that he wants to leave. Obviously he said it on the last day of the window. And after that, I don't think he'd be happy with his game time since. So it's not like that's changed for the better. So it just feels like a bit of a... Because how can you not know the blue kit?
Yeah, no, that's...
So it just seemed like a nonchalant, like, which one is it again kind of thing? Like, because it's like, I don't care.
Yeah. I think it was very relaxed. But I was very surprised to hear that. But I suppose...
he takes his penalties the same way. Just shrug of the shoulder, I don't care.
Yeah, fair. He's very calm with it. But let me read what he said it was on the Arsenal's Twitch channel. With Frimpong, like I said, big up Frimpong every time as well. Good friend of ours as well. I think he was asked, what would you do if he wasn't a footballer? He said, I'd do something in sport, definitely. And then he goes on to say, I have a few of my coaching badges already. I don't know if I'll end up going into coaching, but it's food for thought, and it's there if I need to. But something in sport, maybe being around players and helping them mentally prepare for their next steps. It's interesting to speak about preparing players for their next steps and mentally as well, because for me, it depends on what you think. But for me, I think he's had a bit of a rough ride. Obviously, he went out on social media and explained, and it kind of detailed how he felt, and then obviously got dropped for that. And he's had a lot of run-ins, I guess, with the manager and not with game time and whatnot. So I like that he did say he'd help them mentally as well, especially if he goes into the coaching side. Because I think people don't understand how much they have such an impact on players' mental health and the mental side of football. It's not just how to control the ball, how to build up play, how to win a game. It is very much so being a friend, and being there to support you mentally as well. I know Arteta was that at Man City, and the players speak about it. So, I don't know what your thoughts on that. Maitland Niles becoming a coach. Obviously, Wilshire's at the club right now as well, wanting to do his coaching badges and become a coach. All these Arsenal players talking about they want to be coaches, and maybe you want them to. Well, so a lot of them have gone on and succeeded, but
sometimes people become better coaches than players. Sometimes
true.
People become better managers than players. And we've seen that in the Premier League as well. So it is what it is. You know what? I'm not too much of a fan of footballers paying too much attention to their post-football career. I get you have to care about it because a football career is short-lived, especially if you don't look after yourself like a Ronaldo or a Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, facts.
So you got to think about your post-football career. But when you overthink it, sometimes, like with a Bellerin, let's say, it seems like you've taken your eye off the ball because you're far from the potential you showed, and maybe that's down to some of your off-the-field activities. Whereas with coaching, it falls hand in hand with football. Of course, you can do your coaching badges while you play football. That's calm.
Yeah, that's
whether you
standard.
become a good coach or not, that's another thing. But this is the norm to me. I think this should be the norm. Just get it done as you go.
Just to reiterate on that comment there, when you sign a professional contract, I think no matter what level you have to do your coaching badges up to level 2. So I've done my level 2. But you make the decision if you want to do your UEFA B or your UEFA A license. That comes after. That's obviously a higher qualification. You have to be nominated into it as well. You have to have a referral to get into those level of qualifications. So it's a lot more expensive. When you sign a professional contract, it's free. It's part of your, if you're in the academy, it's part of your academy process of becoming a professional footballer. So it's fair enough he has his badges. That makes sense. And many of the whole of the Arsenal side, if they've been in the academy from the beginning, or the youngsters, they would have had their coaching badges. Now, the next bit of I want to do that birthday message. I just see you comment as well. My son's birthday, Jaden. Happy birthday, Jaden.
Yeah, man. Big up Jaden. Happy birthday. 4 years old today, Joey. Yep, 4 years old. Come on.
Yeah, congrats.
Little Gooner.
Birthday. Big up, little Gooner and all that. Why not? Got to do this. No, Thursday. Right, so we're going to move on. Just Turkish. Lacazette. I know you've probably spoke about this to death, bro. And his future at Arsenal. The reason why I've got it in the news today is obviously it was brought up in the press conference with Arteta, and I'm just going to read what he said. He said that they're focusing on getting the best out of Lacazette, and he's showing every day his commitment is here, and we want to give him the right minutes. Obviously, his contract is up at the end of the season. You've probably done this a lot, but where would you want him to? I don't know, re-sign a year, or would you think? Not fancy him. Do we need another striker?
Of course we do. We need a proper striker. And I say that because even with Laka gone into the season, Oba has a year left. You know, and even at the end of the season, let's say Newcastle decide that. Because you know when clubs get taken over, it takes a little while for them to find their feet sometimes. Before they get they kind of like they've been linked with, let's say, Coutinho, for example, who obviously elevate Newcastle, but in essence they're easier attainable player, and a couple more players I can't think off the top of my head, but easier attainable from the stage they're at now.
So that Aaron Ramsey was brought up in the office earlier that he could go to Newcastle.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense.
Oba at the end of the season, potentially Newcastle, but regardless of that situation, I feel like we've got to think past not only Laka, Oba as well. Okay. Because this season we're not getting top 4. Yeah, let's just get that right.
You're on that still.
Yeah, we're not getting top 4. So for me, this season's another write-off. The best I can hope for from this season is to see development, better football,
top 6?
The style of play. Top 6 is top 6. I'm never going to be happy with top 6. I don't give a shit about the Europa League. I'll be honest.
No, that's
might be rich coming from an Arsenal fan who hasn't, seen success in Europe in terms of Champions League or Europa, but I'm just tired of it. I was never happy dropping into it. I wasn't happy continually being in it, and I'm not going to be happy being back in it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's top 4, and it's not happening this season. Next season, maybe with another 150 mil to 200 mil window, we can talk about top 4, depending on what other clubs do too. But Obba's gone by the time 23 comes.
Yeah.
So who's going to be our striker then? Martinelli doesn't get much game time now.
We're just going to go on to the next after this, but yep.
So we're going to need someone coming in. Balogun doesn't get much game time now.
True. Rely on Eddie?
Come on, bro. Man even forgot about Eddie.
All right, you mentioned Martinelli there. He was brought up in a press conference. Martinelli, what's going on with him, and is he going to be available for Palace on Monday? So if you guys, I'm sure you guys are very aware, we've got a game on Monday and we have a game on Friday. But I'm going to read out this is from today's press conference. Arsenal starlet Gabriel Martinelli is a doubt for the Gunners' trip to Crystal Palace. According to the manager, Mikel Arteta, speaking during his pre-match press conference, the Spaniard said, unfortunately, he got injured last week. It's a minor injury. We don't know if he's going to be available for Monday. Okay, this was last week, but it is very much so that he might not be available.
But he wouldn't have played anyway. So.
Yeah, I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. We just spoke about that. You just said doesn't get much game time anyway. Would he have been in contention for a spot? I don't think he would have against Palace. I'm going to be completely honest. It feels like Arteta. I don't know if Arteta doesn't trust him. I don't want to blame it. It can't be his ability, because I think Martinelli's one of the hardest working forward players we kind of have when he's in there, running the ball down, pressing, and his heart and passion for the club. Yeah, his directness. So it's difficult to say it's that. It might be that, I don't know, Arteta doesn't suit the style of play of Arteta that he wants. I don't know, but yeah, like you said, I don't think he would have been playing anyway. So, but it's just good to get an update that he may be a doubt for the Palace game. Thoughts on him? Do you want him back in? Do you think he does? Does he deserve to be back in the squad? Not start. I don't think he deserves to start personally. You
have to be given a chance to deserve it, I guess. And he was thrown in at the deep end against Brentford. And I'm not making that excuse for him, because when I wasn't hopeful against Brentford, but when I saw Martinelli in against Brentford, I thought I might see something, and I didn't see anything. So I'm not making an excuse for him, but what I am saying is the plan wasn't to go in with him. And it never has been since Arteta's been here. And we haven't seen the best of Martinelli since Arteta's been here. Yeah. The best of Martinelli was early on with Emery.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, there's a fine line between thinking. A lot of fans say, Arteta's biding his time with him. We've got a lot of young players in the squad, which is facts, and it's hard to accommodate. But on the flip side, that happiness level. There's a World Cup next in a year or so. He's at an age where he could potentially be making that squad. Yeah. If he was getting game time.
He would be. So, I actually genuinely believe he would be. Obviously, I think he got called up for the Olympic team. He chose not to go due to coming back to Arsenal. Oh no, I think he went. No, he went. Sorry, and then came back early off his pre-season to come straight back into Arsenal and fight for his position.
Which shows the character he is.
He is. He wants to fight.
Because how many players over the years have I seen at Arsenal? Yeah, because of World Cups and Euros and Copa Americas and whatever Olympics, they come back 3 weeks. Like their first game back is 3 weeks into the season. And I'd look at other clubs like United or whoever we was around those times challenging for whatever, and the same wouldn't be happening at those clubs. Yeah. At Arsenal, it just feels like, you know what, do you need an extra 2 weeks off? Yeah, take the extra 2 weeks off. It's like, bro, the season's starting. Yeah. Like, this is football, the start of the season. Yeah. So already you're setting precedent by saying, you need a few more weeks off because you was on the subs bench for the World Cup final and the semi-final and the quarter-final.
Yeah, take it, go on.
Yeah, take a few more weeks. Yeah. But that is the culture, especially at Arsenal. But with Martinelli, he comes straight back in. Yeah. And a few others as well. Yeah, and a few others. Even Saka came back a bit early as well. So it shows the character of them, I can't lie.
On that, do you think Martinelli suffers from not being one of Arteta's players, Turkish? Because you know how managers are, listen, I didn't sign him and whatnot. And just you speaking there, I kind of had that came across my mind.
The only attacking player he signed is Odegaard. No one else.
Yeah, Saka, Haaland, I was there.
Saka, Smith Rowe, Oba, Laka, Eddie, Martinelli, Pepe, literally. So even that.
That's not.
And okay, people might say he's not seeing it in training or whatever, but we've seen
seen enough.
There was one point, if you asked most Arsenal fans, who has the most potential at the club, it'd be Martinelli ahead of Saka and Smith Rowe. Now it's different. Yeah, is it different because Martinelli's fallen off form? No, it's different because we don't see him anymore. So if we're thinking that, surely he'll be thinking that, and But listen, he's got an injury now, so it is what it is. And at the same time, I want consistency in the squad, and I want consistent lineups. We've been winning. We drew 0-0 to Brighton, but in a run of 4 games, it's very different to the first 3. So consistency, cool. Martinelli comes back in, but sooner or later, I'm going to be looking at Arteta yet again for something else, and that's Martinelli.
I think every time we look for Martinelli, we look at Arteta and say, this is the time, bring on Martinelli, or we want. He never does. Never really takes that leap. I think there's definitely a trust issue there between him and Martinelli. From what I think, I know managers look at trust as a key thing. We've got a comment here from Himanshu Singh says, Klopp literally told his squad to take an extra week off, but they did not. Mentality matters. There you go. It says it all, really.
Yeah.
It says it all. I know
it's the culture, isn't it?
It's the culture.
Even once you create that culture at a place, even if someone turns around and says, yeah, take the week off, it's not in your, that's not in your playbook. I'm here to, work, or for a lot of them play, because football's fun. For a lot of them, it's not really a job. It's fun, isn't it? So that mentality matters, man. That's a good comment.
That's a great comment. And we've got another one here as well from Dirav. I'm going to get your thoughts on this. From the Sun, Henry says Arsenal are not heading in the right direction under Arteta.
Don't say Henry, reload.
Henry.
Yeah, but I know before you saw the comment, you wouldn't have known. But alright, cool.
No, I did this before with Laurie. Laurie was like, bro,
you can't disrespect Thierry like that, man. Man said Henry like the Hoover. But it's mad. No other room in that name at all.
All right, fair point. Henry says Arsenal are not heading in the right direction under Arteta. Man said the Hoover, under Arteta says it's just another opinion. Surely it's more than that. Thoughts, guys. For him to say, me saying disrespect or me calling him Henry, and then Arteta disrespect saying it's just another opinion, and not referring to him as the king or something like that, is, for me, it's way more than that. So Durav, you're right. I think there is definitely more than that.
I would have hoped there's more. Like, obviously that's just a quote. Without context, I guess, because I don't know if there was more to it. I would have hoped that before he said that's just another opinion, he would have praised Henry and his Arsenal career, because that would be the right thing to do before you do, because he is number 1, Henry.
He is.
In terms of legendary status. So,
do you know what? As quickly as well, because I had Julian on the show, and we spoke about where were you when, and he spoke about the 89, and he spoke about George Graham and how much everything George said, Julian believed. Like, there was no like, that won't happen. He believed everything he said. Same with some people said about Wenger, see him as a father figure. They believed in everything he said. With me, it was Henry as well. Whatever he said, whatever he'd done, I believed in him. When he was on the pitch, I knew would get a result. I have so much faith in this man. I spoke about it with Robbie as well in Inside AFTV, which is coming out soon, how much I'm obsessed with Henry, and that was my guy. So anything he says, I take it as gospel. Same when he said about Xhaka, when you saw him as captain, he switched off. Like, I take those things as like, I want to be you. I understand everything, how you were. You're my hero. So when he said that about Arteta as well, obviously, like you said, there'll be more context to it. But if he says they're not heading in the right direction, even though I had my own opinions, I kind of agreed with that anyway. I don't think Arteta's the right man. That kind of solidifies that for me, coming from him. And I don't like Arteta saying it's just another opinion. I understand it's a job full of opinions, but it's the king, man.
Like,
I'm quite surprised.
That's why I'm going to look into that one afterwards, because I want to see how it was delivered. Because
I was going to say, because the report of bringing it up is quite brave of them as well.
Yeah, but at the same time, I guess if people are making statements, if Henry's openly coming out with it, then Henry should know that that statement can be used to be further delved into, I guess. So I don't assume Henry's got a problem with that. So more journalists need to take up opportunities to not only ask difficult questions, but counter what some of these people are saying.
Yeah, you like when reports.
Yeah, that's what journalists are meant to do. Not come and feed us nonsense about, like, it's just nonsense about nonsense. That's essentially what, like, press conferences, 70% of them are nonsense. Questions are like, you look at it and think, what the hell?
To stay in the room.
I keep on going back into one, but I think it was last year or something like that, maybe the year before. One of the questions from a journalist, it was, word for word, how important is it to win at home? And I'm just like, what the?
Come on,
like, do you think a manager's going to turn around and say, it's not that important? What do you mean important to win at home, mate? It's not that important. We can lose today. We move.
Yeah. And that's never going to happen.
You're never going to hear that, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So I like questions like that. I like
here's
difficult questions, especially when you're in big positions.
Yeah.
Kroenke should be getting the most difficult questions. Don't ever get it twisted. because
100%.
Arteta's just another puppet, shield, whatever. But they should all be getting questioned heavily right now.
Yeah, and we can't feel like we can't ever reach Kroenke, or he never really wants to give his opinion or be heard. Let me ask you a question that's not kind of wasn't part of on the schedule of what was in Tuesday, but if Kroenke leaves, Daniel Ek takes over, right? He brings in his consortium. Do you think that it'll be set up for Daniel to say, here Patrick, or here Thierry, here's a manager role? Have you considered that?
Nah.
Do you think they will stay in a consortium role and stay above, or you don't think there's no way that those men will want the job? Thierry might want to. I know he has been a manager. Patrick Vieira, I think maybe looking with one eye at the Arsenal job. I'm going to be completely honest, even now. So if he went, that might be part of the.
Then I'd question Daniel Ek straight away from the first thing he does, because we ain't seen enough of Vieira, Henry, and Bergkamp in terms of management,
right?
To say he has enough knowledge to be confident that they're going to come in and do the job we fans require.
Yeah.
That's nothing against them three legends. Nothing against them at all. It's against Daniel Ek. And if you're coming in to change the ship at Arsenal, we need experience first in the positions where we've got inexperience, like manager, director of football, CEO, all of that. So to come in and in a sentimental way do something like that, it would already be like, listen, at the end of the day, football's ruthless. So like level the playing field first, and then let's think about bringing greats in. Because I don't want no more greats' names to be dragged in the mud, like Arsene Wenger,
Nor do I. Let's get that straight. I've said this many times. I wouldn't want any of the legends to be managers, but it's a good conversation to have, because that might be part of, Daniel Ek might be saying, listen, you guys are backing me, which has got the fans on side. When I get the owner role, I might give you the position as manager, but you'd say that's probably shooting himself in the foot, because like you just said there, we need actual experience.
Stay in an advisory role, I think, Henry and Vieira and Bergkamp, just stay maybe not even advisory, be hands-on, be there, be present, be a part of it, but be a part of, making sure this club acquire the right people, right positions, and give the correct platform. Not come in and do it yourselves because Daniel Ek has given you the opportunity to.
Yeah, because that just it does feel like a handout, doesn't it?
This job is not. This is why I keep on banging on about Conte.
It's not a joke.
This is why I keep on banging on about him. When Emery was on the verge of getting sacked, I said Pochettino, yeah. But Pochettino is not a manager that comes in and demands upwards. I said Pochettino because he's a manager that could work with what Kroenke gives, and we can hope for something, because he done it at Tottenham with less, but then he gives it to Arteta, and then he goes on to not only not acknowledge his wrongdoings of the last 10 years, but the last few years too. The Super League thing happens. All of that since, it's like, I'm not asking for a manager anymore to cope under your circumstances. I'm asking for a manager that's going to challenge your circumstances. And I'm not swaying from that point anymore. That's why even if we sack Arteta one day and Edu, even if we bring Ten Hag and Overmars, who I'm intrigued by, I'm not against. I'm also doubtful they challenge upwards as much as I'd like a Conte to, or someone like that. A Ralph Rangnick, for example, is another one who could do director of football, but he'd demand more than an Edu. So
it's an interesting thought. That is interesting. It'll also be a conflict right now of interest as well. If Daniel Ek came in around now, obviously Patrick Vieira is manager of Palace. We see him here. We see him at the Emirates on Monday. I wonder what happens there. Like, does he? I'm assuming he'll continue his manager role, but he might just be like, nah, I'm gonna go and be an advisor, say, at Arsenal, if that ever happens. I know I'm thinking way too much in the future. There's not obviously a word of the Daniel Ek takeover progressing right now, but it is an interesting thought of what happens with that consortium and what they do, what Arsenal do about that. Let's move forward to Wenger having a film coming out. I'm excited for this. I don't know. I know. Listen, I definitely have my qualms over Wenger, but very much so. Me and James spoke about it. We gave him a great show in the last show. We spoke about his tenure, because obviously the last show we did was the 25 years on the date when he managed his first match. And Wenger, again, was my era. I grew up. I'm 25 years old. I grew up with him being the Arsenal manager, and like I spoke about how I thought his name was Arsenal because of Arsenal, like all these things, and I love the guy. Gonna be honest, he was my father figure at one point. So I'm excited for this film. I hope they depict it well. I think this is where I have a bit of conflict of how they're going to really portray his story. I hope the film is called Invincible, by the way, guys. It's out on November the 11th in all cinemas. I hope they did a good moments and everything he done and how he changed English football. Thoughts on the film too? Because there's a lot of filming coming out. We've got the documentary.
Yeah.
We've got the Amazon Prime thing. We got obviously the Invincible now, Wenger. I think there's other things as well in the pipelines as well. I think there was word of
89. You just watched.
89. I just watched as well. There was talks of an Invincible film coming out about the players of that team. But I think that might have been scrapped now. But there's a lot of footage coming out of our great history. Thoughts on the film?
Yes, it's necessary that the Invincibles were mad. Like when I saw the Last Dance come out last year, I thought like if they did that, as great as that was, and it is great. I thought to myself, Invincibles need something like this, and I don't think it's exactly that. This is more a movie. Well, not a movie, a documentary, but in a one film format, not a series. But it's necessary. It does obviously say Arsene Wenger Invincible, but I hope they delve into the players too. Because Invincibles was, as much as Arsene Wenger built it, the players had a massive part to play in it.
100%.
A massive part to play in it. So I hope there's a lot of behind the scenes footage like there was in Last Dance.
Yeah, I think sick. Do you know what? I think that's what they're going to struggle with. I think that's why the Last Dance for the Invincibles didn't actually get confirmed, because they didn't have cameras in everywhere like they did with the Last Dance.
Last Dance was before the Chicago Bulls time was before Invincibles.
Yeah. So, I don't know how they had so much footage for that, and
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they have it.
I don't know why it has. Yeah,
they arranged it.
Oh, they arranged it.
And they said, we're gonna follow the Bulls, let us be there.
To be fair, that is true as well. No, sorry, just in the back, he's right. I did read up on that as well, because I was like, how do they have all that footage and all the stories of them going out and all that? But they're right.
It's a smart thing to do, because look what they created. 30 years ago, they created Last Dance, basically, just by cameras following them around.
But that's what they're doing with Arsenal at the moment with Amazon.
Yeah, but at the moment is not something I want to see in 30 years. I'm not going to look back at 2020, 21 and show my kid, come here and let's look at this season.
The Last Dance,
where we finished 8th.
The Invisibles. The Invisibles. That's funny. But at least... At least they documented it. But you're right. Everything you said, I'm gonna be honest. Everyone says I agree. That is very true. I can't argue that. It's not the same. The Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in that era. The Last Dance was an incredible time. They broke so many records. And the Invincibles. And
there's legends throughout in that documentary. I know it's primarily Jordan, and like this one will and should be primarily Wenger. But how much of Scottie Pippen was in there? Rodman. Yeah. Wasn't Arteta in there for a bit? Yeah. There was a few people in there. Even Reggie Miller had a little bit in there. There was a few legends of the sport.
Yeah, even upcoming legends as well. They had some features as well in there. I remember. So that's. I hope you're right.
I want to see a lot of Henri, Vieira, Bergkamp.
True.
That was my time. So when that will bring back those memories, seeing them a bit younger around the.
No, I think that's what makes it a good. It makes it a good film or documentary. Like I said, I've watched 89 recently, and it's Tony Adams. They all sit around, all Lee Dixon, they all sit around and play cards, and they talk about the moments of 89 and when George Graham said, "I'm going to a back three," and how they just thought he was crazy, absolutely crazy, like you're mad against just scoring, being so defensive. Sorry, when we need to score 2 or more to win the league.
Apparently, in the advert, and I will mention. There is the advert of that. There's bits of the Arteta out protest and some of that. So I just want to say I hope that it doesn't end with like a sad. Listen, it was a sad ending for Wenger. It was a sad ending for Wenger.
It was.
But if this documentary is about the Invincibles,
and they bring that.
Yeah, then I don't know how this documentary is going to depict the whole situation. Yeah, probably. It's more about Arsene Wenger than the Invincibles. Then
that's sad.
More like Invincible, the Arsene Wenger.
They could have. For me, then.
And I don't mind them doing that if they make sure that from the Invincibles they include the key points that led to fans feeling that way, not just go from we was invincible, we moved into a new stadium because I sold an Elko for this much and whatever else that training ground and whatever and so on, but. Then it turned sour and fans went against me and I had to leave. I don't want it to be depicted like that where we look bad. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the fans look bad again. At the end of the day, make sure if you do depict it to the end that you include the 8-2s and the Scalaccis and the Silvestras and the Birmingham League Cup finals and the 40 million and the pounds and the Kim Kallstroms in January and the 6-0s and the 1000th game in charge, Mourinho, Voyeur, and all this stuff. He said
Petr Cech signing that was
the Petr Cech signing, the Louise,
all of that,
the Willie, and even that. Well, actually, that was not Wenger. So backtrack a few years. Backtrack a few years, but you get my point. I hope the documentary doesn't paint us in a bad light.
I think that'd be silly to. I think that'd be silly to do that. I wouldn't put it past him. That's what worries me.
I feel like Wenger's very well respected by everyone, but a lot more. The respect is a lot more protected in the mainstream media world.
Facts.
So they will depict him in a way that I believe shows respect, and that's why I hope they don't depict the fans in a way where we.
No, because we had a right to be. We had a right to be. They held on way too long. We had a right to be. We're angry. The Invincibles was great, but the period after that is why fans were so annoyed, and you've got to be an idiot not to see that. Anyway. I'm not going to that.
We'll see it soon enough anyway.
I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to be there. I'm going to film it anyway. I'll be there on November the 11th when it releases. So make sure you guys check that out. And I just want to bring up this comment as well from Sir Alex Ferguson on, the Invincibles, but it was on the Invincibles and Wenger. He says, I went 13 weeks, but I was never near going for a season undefeated. The achievement stands aside. It stands above everything else. And it was Arsenal's, from Sir Alex Ferguson. Now, there's obviously been history and it's on record that Alex Ferguson, that was one achievement he really wanted, and he obviously presented Arsenal with the golden trophy, the Premier League trophy. So there's a lot of respect there, but I know that's something that I hold over United fans because I know how much Ferguson wanted that. But we've got to big up Wenger. It's an amazing achievement being invincible for a season, regardless of how many people say. But you got so many draws, and that aggravates me to the highest.
That Invincibles is something more so if you was alive for it.
Yep.
And you could make sense of football and stuff like that that you can hold on to forever. In many arguments, unless it, not only you can't beat it, but where you can beat it in a way, you can go invincible and then win trebles and you can do the whole thing. You can do the treble United with the Invincibles together, and that'd be a mad thing. But what I'm saying is, in arguments, you can always hold on to Invincibles like other teams hold on to Champions Leagues from years back and this and that. That's why when people ask me, would you change Invincibles for one Champions League? No. Never. I wouldn't.
James asked me that. Okay, you say never.
Not one Champions League.
But wait, okay. But if another team has gone and done a season of Invincible as well, would you trade it for a Champions League?
Again, no, because you'd be one of two teams.
James can answer it, but I'm interested.
You'd be one of two teams.
Okay. I wonder if you guys think as well, would you change it for a Champions League?
And the trophy matters as well, because we got a trophy for that, a special trophy and no one else got. If we didn't get that for that achievement, then it'd just be an achievement.
Yeah.
But like Centurions didn't get a trophy.
No.
Chelsea's best ever defensive unit didn't get a trophy. The treble winners get a trophy for each one. So that's why that treble versus Invincible is an old age argument people used to have. But that trophy matters. That's a piece of, history there that you can look at and remember.
Yeah.
But someone else will probably achieve it one day. Liverpool were close to it a few years ago, or a couple of years back.
Yeah, it's true. Very close to it. Until it was Watford, wasn't it? Yeah. Big old Watford.
They played them Saturday.
Oh,
Watford, Liverpool, yeah.
Is that the game they play? Oh, I'm gonna have to tune into that. Well, they might have some revenge for that then.
Yeah.
Just on the Wenger talk as well, we are moving on, but he played in defence, centre back, and it was for a charity game, Stade Leo Larga. I don't know. I'm not very good at pronunciations. I'm not French. Forgive me.
It's probably a silent G.
Yeah.
That's how I look at that.
Yeah, but he played in centre back. He also gave a team talk as well, and even that it was class. He's like you said, it's very respected. He's a very respected guy. I know that obviously, again, we have our qualms about how long he held on to Arsenal, but when he did that team talk, I was like, someone was speaking. He was like, hey, excuse me, I'm speaking, and they were very polite, and everyone just held the room very well. No, I like all that. I would love to have been in that room. Maybe I'm just being a bit like a fanboy again. But yeah, big up Wenger as well. And man, I'd love to have seen him play in that game, and if he could defend. Man, I'd be very surprised.
Based off the defenders he bought, maybe.
You had to do it. You had to do it. we're gonna get towards the internationals very soon. This is just quickly. I just saw this on Arsenal's page. Mikel Arteta supports Fly Emirates in Dubai Expo. Obviously, they're our sponsors, Fly Emirates, and he was out at one of the events just supporting. And there's been a lot of memes about it. Obviously, talking about the Newcastle takeover. Meeting. The Saudi Arabians to obviously get some budget, but no, he was doing the Fly Emirates event and supporting. Now,
Promo.
We're good at that.
100%.
We're good at that.
Yeah.
Arsenal are very good at that. Let's talk about now our internationals for the last half an hour of the show, or last 20 minutes, shall I say. The players from Arsenal have been doing exceptionally well Turkish on international duty, and it fills me with joy. I'm very happy to see it. I hope they come back with that same energy. I'll start with Saka, obviously scoring 1 goal so far. Doing really well. Actually, let's talk about Saka and Emil Smith Rowe. Both of them scoring actually. Emil Smith Rowe scoring for the under-21s, scoring a good goal, really good goal as well. And
got man of the match as well, didn't he?
Yeah, got man of the match as well. And they both speak about their under-21s manager speaks about Emil Smith Rowe getting minutes for Arsenal. That's allowing him to be this good for international duty. And also Arteta speaks about Saka, because he's had so much involvement within the team as well. It will only do good for them going onto international break, which is clear and it's been shown here as well. So in their goals and their performances and the man of the matches. So I don't know if you saw Saka's performance. Happy with them?
Saw a bit of it, but yeah, it's always good for them to score, especially when you look at Arsenal, we need goals. So if everyone's scoring, play all of them. We need the fucking goals.
Yeah. It's very true. What is your thoughts on international football firstly as well? I didn't even ask you that. Do you? Yeah, most people are like, bruv.
Listen,
by the international break, it's the worst.
I like international football when Turkey and Ireland are doing well. So I guess I like international football. But when Turkey and Ireland are not doing well, it's jarring. Because I just go from one, mess to another mess.
Yeah.
But, when Turkey are doing well, when Ireland are doing well, I've thoroughly enjoyed international breaks before.
Yeah.
Not so much this one, because again, for those reasons. But in general, I'd say I don't mind international breaks. Man.
Oh, interesting. I didn't expect that from you. I thought you wouldn't watch it, but I suppose I do know about you in Turkey, and I know that for a fact. If you don't know, go check out Don Robbie.
Nah, don't, man.
And watch alongs.
Let's not go back there, man. Euros.
When Turkey are playing, you'll see how passionate Turkish gets. But yeah, no. So obviously they've done really well. Saka and Emil Smith Rowe should come back fully fit. I worried about Emil Smith Rowe playing, if I'm honest, because I still feel like he's not battling, but his match fitness I always worry about. I always feel like every time he plays, he can never really last a 90. He always slows up because he gives so much.
Yeah.
So playing matches for international duty, I worried about obviously him come back, and Saka actually as well, both of them, because are they being overplayed? Are they being overworked? Do you say Saka is being? Because there's been loads of arguments where it's like, give him a break, give him a rest, give him a rest. Or do you think, you know what, you're young, bro, keep up with this. Like right now, we need you in Arsenal. Like where do you sit on that fence?
You got to protect young players, man. That's why I moaned about the transfer window as well, because as much as, all right, we spent 150 mil, as much as, yes, some of them players have potential and, a lot of them have started off quite well, you got to protect young players as well with experience. You can't buy young players on top of young players and expect to do well.
That's true.
That's why that strategy to me worries me, because I feel like this strategy Arsenal have employed is to make money off the back of the value increase in the young players over years.
Oh, people aren't going to want to hear that.
It's not about want to hear it. I don't want to see it, but that's just what I think this is. But when they're trying to say the strategy is different, I need to see a bit more protection for these players. At the same time, you're right, Emil Smith Rowe is important to us. So it's like a what do you do? But as we learned from Wilshere, I don't think you can bang them out 60 games in a season.
Yeah.
And expect them to
be top. Top. Unless, like you said, they're unless like they're Ronaldos and they're just machines. But again, it's a different era. But the '89, I'm gonna keep talking about because I really enjoyed it. They highlight how young the players were. Like Tony Adams making his debut at 17. They highlighted a lot of these players that George Graham brought in were young, hungry, and he built a team around that, their youth and just their energy really. So that I know it's a different era. People are gonna say that 100%. Football's completely changed since then. But I get that model. I do get that model, but again, it comes with having experienced players in the side that can level that. Right now, that's where I don't think we have. We can't build a whole team of youngsters for a whole 11.
It's not fair on us. It's not fair on them.
Yeah, that was the best way.
That's the reality.
That's the truth. Partey scored 2 goals, 2 good goals. I believe he scored a free kick as well. So big up Partey. I'm going to read out the stats, of all the Arsenal players that have been away and doing well. So Partey obviously scored 2 goals, 1 being a free kick, I believe. Big up Partey on that, because outside of the box shooting, I questioned. But, it's improving. I need to see that for Arsenal, but it's obviously improving. Pepe scored a goal as well. Aubameyang got a goal and an assist. Tavares got a goal and 2 assists for Portugal. Aubameyang for Gabon, and Pepe for Ivory Coast, and then Partey for Ghana, and then Saliba, obviously for France, got 2 clean sheets. Now this is maybe not all be first teams, might be the under-23s, under-21s, just so everyone's aware. That is not a controversial one, but Saliba getting 2 clean sheets, it's actually more annoying because he's not with us.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I don't think he's, again, my opinion, I don't think he has a future at Arsenal Football Club because of God knows what, but the reason he's not here now is because I don't see a future for him. Him and Arteta don't seem to get along. That might change, and I hope it does, because it seems like there's a good defender there. So we'll see in the summer.
Yeah, we'll see.
But if he's not our player, I don't care about clean sheets.
Interesting.
I don't care if, I don't care.
Yeah, but he's
Bellerin could bang a 30-yard free kick tomorrow for Real Betis. Do you think I'm going to care?
Yeah, but that's because of what I made the player. But so Saliba and all his achievements, or him progressing.
For now, seeing Saliba doing well makes me more angry of Arsenal, and
it does for me as well.
And I'm already angry enough.
But I want to know. That makes me happy to know. It's annoying because we don't know if he's going to feature in Arsenal, but I'm happy to know that. I want to hear that he's progressing, he's doing well on an international break, 2 clean sheets.
So you can potentially be angrier when he's not part of our future. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, but there's a flip side.
You know me, I try and set myself up for a surprise rather than disappointment.
I hear that.
So again, with Saliba, I'll do that.
If he is introduced, you can say, well, fair enough then, he went away and did well. But there is both sides to that coin.
Yeah.
Tierney got 1 clean sheet, and Kolasinac as well got 1 clean sheet. So away on international break, international duty so far. So big up to the players. I think they're doing really well. I'm happy to know that and hear that, and hopefully they return back to Arsenal with that same energy, and we get some good players on form. We need some goals. That is key. So big up on Smith and Saka. We need you. I think it's very clear that we've needed you. We need you, the youngsters. So make sure you come back with that same energy. I wanted to just speak on, before we go to the comments and take all the comments, players returning. They're saying Alexis Sanchez is available. I don't know, we're going to talk about if you want him back. Aaron Ramsey's been flirting around that name coming back. Wilshire's currently with Arsenal training.
Do you want to do these last 15 minutes alone?
Oh, you don't want to see any of them? Oxlade-Chamberlain?
Do you want to do these last 15 minutes alone? Because I'm not about to sit here and speak about any of those players. I'm going to tell you that now. Sanchez, Ramsey, Wilshere, and who? Who was the other one?
Wilshere, Sanchez, Oxlade-Chamberlain.
No. I spoke about Oxlade on Monday with Laurie, and even that, I had to do that. Please.
These players love the club, Turkish. They may be able to bring back something. We talk about experience, mentality. Some of these players may know that mentality that we might need in the Arsenal side, around these youngsters. Don't want any of them back, does that not?
No, Wilshire's around the side. So
it's true. It's talking about he's been mentoring Charlie Patino. That's true.
And Wilshere would be the only one for me, because the young players look up to him as a beacon of opportunity in the first team.
Does he get any game time?
Sanchez, no. What? I don't sign these, man.
Oh.
I'm just saying he's around there. Just keep him around there. If that's the benefit, he's around, innit? Do your badges, train, and hope a club comes in.
I hear that. In the back of his mind, he might be thinking Arsenal might give me a little pay to play. So you wouldn't want to see that.
That could be in the back of his mind, front of his mind, all over his mind. It better not be in our minds. That's what I'm thinking, because a lot of players would love to play for Arsenal, especially players that ain't got jobs. Yeah, so
that's true.
It's in the back of my mind too. So if they're looking for players where it's in the back of their minds, I'm here, mate.
All right, fair. So that's kind of a wash then. So all those players, let me know in the comments as well if you're listening or watching this right now. Any of those players that I mentioned, I'm going to go through it again. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Alexis Sanchez, Aaron Ramsey, Wilshere. I think that's all the ones that have been kind of mentioned that might make a return. Would you want them back in the Arsenal side at all, amongst the young players like Wilshere, or would you want them to see him have game time? I'm going to leave that with you guys. Will Ricketts, so he's a big regular as well. It says, lol, Turkish real talk, bro. Exactly Turkish. So big, but still love what's this? Natty Miakan says, Turkish sound like he knows football more than Arteta. Sick, Natty, but still love Turkish though. Nah, it's an opinion, and it's just a fan.
But I don't give a shit. I'll be honest. Arteta, who knows yet? Innit? Who knows? Sometimes people think because people are in positions, they know more than the other. But sometimes people are, lucky to be in those positions.
That's true. Would you say Arteta is?
Of course he is. Everyone should agree he's lucky to be in the position he's in.
100%.
It's up to him to prove whether that decision was
right or wrong, or if it's luck, or if it's actually the right place to be. Quickly here, EFFB.094 says, I love Saka, but he tends to fade out as the game goes on. You're right. I don't know if you got that super chat as well, so I'm going to come back to that. Sorry. Tends to fade out as the game goes on. You're right. He can't last a full 90 at the moment. After all these games, Defo should be playing less minutes. And then he goes back and says, Emile Smith-Rowe seems fitter, but the same will happen to him with burnout, happen to Tierney too. We are relying on the youngsters a lot. We really are.
Tierney's 24. 25 or something like that.
Is he? Oh yeah, it's 20. I think it's 24.
Old man.
24.
Yeah, so he should be playing 40 games a season.
Okay. Yeah.
50, 40, 50, whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly take this super chat here.
Isn't that the same one?
Chai Atan.
Oh no, it's not the same one. No, sorry.
Okay, so Chai Tayanya Carl says, even Partey scored in the break. Do you think Arteta isn't using him properly? We lack goals. Now, we had this big debate. Me, James. Partey, a midfielder that sits and holds, a defensive midfielder basically, or a box to box. What do you see him as, or what do you see him as, and what do you want him to be? Do you want him to be the box to box, or do you want him to be the DM?
He's box to box for me.
Okay, that's what I said.
Yeah, he's box to box, because we didn't buy the right type of midfielder to allow him to be box to box. He's the one that allows Odegaard to be box to box, or he allows Lokonga to be box to box. When Xhaka plays, okay, he can be box to box because.
But so James' argument was, I believe. So I'm not gonna. Obviously, we'll speak with James after this. But he was like, he's not goal scoring enough. Like he doesn't do the breaking in behind the back line to be a box to box enough for him.
Listen, that is premature to say because last season, what did we see? Partey in 20 games, let's say, off the top of my head. Let's just say 20 games.
What, last season?
Yeah. Maybe less than that. Okay, 15, and that was broken up through injuries. So to judge his goal scoring ability off of some wayward shots we've seen in and amongst 15 games of inconsistent playing time, it wouldn't be fair. Do you get what I'm saying? And at the same time, I don't think a central midfielder, box to box type midfielder needs that many goals. I'd be happy with 3 to 5 from a central midfielder. Central as in starting in a double pivot and his box to box. That's nothing, you know.
No, between the two of them as well. That's the 10 goals. That's just goals in that defensive midfield position that would be very much needed.
No, I'll take 0 from one and 3 to 5 from the other, and then the rest should come up from the attacking 5 positions or 4 positions.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. No,
that's how I see it. Maybe a few from the fullbacks if you have that type of system.
Yeah. No, I heard James's argument. And I understand that, but for me, again, Partey is a box-to-box midfielder. He has athleticism for it. I believe he has the technical ability to do that as well. People also said that he lacks that killer pass, but I just don't think he's had the opportunity to play that box-to-box role. And being a box-to-box doesn't always mean you have to have that killer pass. You've got to be able to break up play and keep the ball moving forward. Because I think James's example was for Partey to Pogba, but I suppose that's a different sort of box-to-box midfielder in my eyes. That's not Partey box-to-box midfielder.
No, Partey can't.
It's not a good comparison.
Partey can't do what Pogba does. Pogba can't do what Partey does. They're different.
Very true. Very true. I'm going to take some comments for the last couple minutes of the show. Dennis says only Sanchez, F the rest. Basically, that's obviously when I asked about players returning. Who would you want? He says Sanchez. Leo says Partey is a DM. Okay, yeah, like people, we obviously gave
Partey can play DM. He's not a DM, but he can play there.
Yes, yeah, Mukul says he is a CM. So as Xhaka. Only Xhaka passes sideways, unlike Partey. And then Andy says Xhaka equals puzzle piece that fits no puzzle. I thought he was gonna. Damn! I thought you were gonna say the puzzle piece that fits in Arsenal. I was like, Turkish will have something to say about this, but we're on the same sort of
agreement.
Yeah, he's gonna have to nod for that one. Arsenal representative on it. Oh,
what's that?
Controversial one. Bit off topic. We're gonna kind of close the show soon, but Clint says, Turkish, can you please be our Arsenal representative on the overlap?
What's that? Oh, the Sky Show.
obviously they filmed another episode, guys. That'll be coming your way soon. The overlap with obviously Gary Neville, Carragher, and Keane. Ty was invited back, and I believe Pippa was up there as well. But I mean, obviously we don't select who they decide. But if I had the opportunity to do that, I'd say that as well. Would have said Turkish. It'd be good for Turkish for you to represent. It's interesting that people are saying that as well. But
Sky don't care about Arsenal alone.
Yeah, they don't. That's true.
You know, they don't want.
They
don't want someone that can challenge them and someone that's gonna really delve into their part to play.
Right.
Because they have played a part.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Including Gary Neville and so on. So I would love the opportunity to, but they pick and choose wisely.
Yeah. And I think and Sky air what they want to air, and I think the challenges you would put on them.
Yeah, because Ty's a different. Listen, Ty's the ultimate Arsenal fan. No one's disputing. Do you get what I'm saying? But there's different types of fans.
Right.
You're gonna get fans that will just back anything and everything, especially against opposition fans because they feel they need to protect their own.
Yeah.
You get fans that are balanced, and you get fans that maybe have lost it a little bit or whatever. You get just different types of fans.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't think Sky want someone to challenge Gary Neville and not so much Carragher for me, but more so Gary Neville. I'd have something to say to him. Keane's very real on there.
Yeah, he is.
Sometimes he gets things wrong. Everyone gets things wrong, but he's very real. And when you're very real, you're gonna say things wrong sometimes.
That's true.
That's just the way it is. But I like that rawness because there's a lack of rawness on mainstream media.
100%. That's very well put, Turkish. Very well put as well, especially for that comment as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for that comment as well. Big up Ty though, and Pippa as well. Big up her as well. She's obviously also another fan representative.
Oh, Pippa there again this time
from the women's side. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I saw the first one, but I didn't know the second one's out or anything like that.
Sorry. Lewis P says Cecil was Scholes on yesterday's, not Keno. Apologies. That's a shame. I like having Keane on there.
Yeah. I definitely want Keane more.
I don't know about Scholes. Thank you. Sorry, Lewis P. Thank you for pointing out to me. I need to actually go watch it, but that's interesting. Scholes.
Keane was already busy.
Yeah, I know, but they would. I thought they would have made that shame because that trio works. Trio works with those three. Like there is a bit of respect.
I would have been vexed if I went and there was no Keane because I want to meet Keane.
Yeah, I know you do.
I want to meet Keane.
I know you do. I'll
bring my Irish shirt. He needs to sign that picture. Come.
Yeah, wicked. All right, well, guys, listen, we're coming towards the end now of this daily news. Sorry again. I don't know why I'm apologising. Don't need to apologise, but it's today at 4 because obviously we have to head out after this. But thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again at normal time tomorrow and going forward next week. Make sure you tune into this daily news. Make sure you hit a like as well before you go. Turkish, anything that you would like to say before we leave?
What was that last comment there?
So the overlap is out tomorrow.
No. The one that says Turkish, I think you're wrong about Wilshere. Bro, believe me, I'm not. I want to end on that. Believe me, I am not wrong on that one.
Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Peace.